Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really small word with huge implications. No. Our mission here is to pull out the key ideas from your sources on, well, the power of saying no, how boundaries create a better life. Think of it as like your guide to understanding how this one word can seriously change things for the better. So let me ask you, just straight up, have you ever found yourself saying yes to something you knew deep down you really didn't want to do, just to keep the peace? Or do you sometimes feel just drained, overwhelmed, maybe even a bit resentful after helping everyone else out all the time? If any of that sounds familiar, yeah, you're definitely not alone. It's something a lot of us struggle with, especially these days. Your sources start with this great story, actually, about a student named Anna. Anna was, she was the definition of a yes person. You know the type. Hey, Anna, can you help with this project? Sure. Can you watch my little brother? Like right now? Okay. Come to the party, even with 3 exams tomorrow. All right, I guess so. And, you can guess what happened. She got totally burned out. Her grades started slipping. She was always tired, always frustrated. The big change came when her mentor told her something pretty blunt. She said, saying no doesn't make you selfish, Anna. It makes you strategic.
Strategic. Yeah, that's the key word, isn't it? And that's where this deep dive really gets interesting. The sources, they really break down why saying no is so important. They introduce this idea of boundaries, not just as like fences, but as essential ways to protect yourself. They define them as these sort of invisible lines you draw to guard your time, your energy, even your emotional space. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how the research shows that no isn't about rejecting someone. It's actually a redirection, a really conscious choice to turn towards your own goals, your own peace of mind, your own growth, and the payoffs for doing that. The sources list quite a few. We're talking more focus, getting your time back, keeping your energy levels up, and way less stress. It's like consciously deciding where your resources, your time, your energy, which are, let's face it, limited, actually go, instead of just letting other people dictate it.
So here's a question for you listening. If you could say no to just one thing right this second, totally guilt-free.
Yeah.
What would pop into your head? Just take a second. Think about it. What is it?
And this connects to something important the sources mention, specifically about U.S. culture. There's sometimes this idea that saying no is rude, right? But the research actually suggests that in many American settings, work or social, people increasingly respect clear boundaries when they're communicated well. It's not about being harsh. It's about being polite, kind, but also firm. The sources give some really good examples. They call them soft no's. Things like, I appreciate the offer, but I just can't commit to that right now. Mm-hmm. Or, thanks so much for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass this time. Or even just a simple, sorry, that doesn't really work for my schedule.
Yeah, and what I like about those phrases is the principle behind them. It's like your sources keep saying. Saying no to someone else is often saying yes to yourself. It's not about refusing to help. It's about choosing where your help makes the most sense for you, and maybe even for them in the long run. I got to say, this is something I've personally really struggled with for years. I used to think saying yes all the time was the way to be liked, to get ahead. I actually remember, this is kind of embarrassing, but a friend asked me to help him move. Okay, fine. But it was on my birthday, and I said yes. I actually said yes. So there I was, hauling boxes, totally worn out, thinking, what am I doing? It just hit me. That was my birthday, slipping away on someone else's chore.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's intense. But it perfectly highlights what the sources call this reciprocity norm bias, that feeling that you have to say yes or return a favor, even if it's really not good for you. I definitely worried about that too. Like if I said no, people wouldn't like me or think I wasn't a team player. But the irony, and the research backs this up, is that saying yes constantly can make you end up not liking yourself very much. You feel drained, maybe even a bit used, and you can start resenting the people you were trying so hard to please in the first place.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It feels like you're running on empty all the time. Your mental battery is just drained. But when I started to really get the value of saying no, seeing it as respecting myself, it was like, taking off a heavy coat. Honestly, I felt lighter, freer, and suddenly I had energy for the things I actually wanted to do, the things that mattered to me.
And it does change how people see you, too. There is this example, straight from one of the sources, actually. Someone asked this person to take on yet another weekend project. The first instinct, just say yes, right? Avoid the awkwardness. But remembering the research, particularly on compassion fatigue and needing rest, they just said calmly, I appreciate you asking, but I really need to protect my downtime this weekend. And the reaction, it wasn't negative at all. The colleague apparently said, good for you, man. Wish I did that more often. It was actually supportive.
See, that's the surprising part people often miss, I think. Saying no doesn't automatically make you rude. It makes you real. It shows you respect your own limits, and often that honesty earns you more respect, not less. It's about setting those external boundaries, sure, but also strengthening that internal voice that says, hey, it's okay to put yourself first sometimes. So we're really curious to hear from you listening. Where is it toughest for you to say no? Is it with friends? Maybe. Where you worry about hurting feelings, or family with all those expectations, or maybe it's at work, where the pressure can feel really high. And hey, if you've ever had a moment where saying no really shifted things for you, changed your life in some way, we'd love it if you shared that. Those real stories, they really do inspire people.
So just to kind of wrap up the core idea from this deep dive, the sources make it really clear that no isn't about shutting doors. It's a tool, a strategic tool for redirection, for self-respect. Getting better at using it unlocks, well, more focus, more time, more energy, less stress. Basically, a more authentic life.
Yeah. And it leaves you with this thought, doesn't it? If saying no to others really is saying yes to yourself, then what amazing new things, what incredible new yeses might be out there waiting for you once you start getting comfortable with that powerful little word. Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello, everyone.
Today we're tackling something that sounds simple maybe, but it had huge implications for your energy, your focus, your overall well-being, really. Why is saying no just so difficult? Even when we know deep down it's important.
Yeah, it's a common struggle.
It really is.
Yeah.
And our sources for this deep dive, they kind of peel back the layers here. They offer practical strategies, sure, but also a really fascinating look at language.
Language itself, yeah.
How even the small words we use can actually empower us to get better at this. It's pretty interesting stuff. So let's dive in.
Absolutely. And it's striking, how deeply our communication habits are tangled up with just how effective we are personally.
Right.
What our sources really highlight is that, well, beneath all the everyday talk, there are these core insights about setting boundaries, about genuinely valuing your own time.
Valuing your time, yes.
And our mission today really is to pull out those key insights, those nuggets, and show you how they can directly, make a difference in your daily life.
Okay, so first things first. Our sources, they immediately zoom in on some key terms, some concepts that kind of define the whole area. And the first one is people-pleasing. We hear that a lot.
We do. And what the material reveals about people-pleasing, it's more than just wanting to be liked, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels deeper.
It often is. It's like an unconscious thing sometimes, a strategy maybe, to avoid conflict or disapproval.
That business.
But the pattern, it ultimately costs us. It costs us our authentic voice, our own resources, time, energy.
Right.
So it raises a really important question for you, the listener. What's the true cost when you constantly put others first?
Yeah, what is the cost?
And the antidote, well, the research points towards setting boundaries, which isn't about building walls necessarily.
No, not like being rigid.
Exactly. It's more about consciously deciding what's okay and, what's not okay for your personal space, your time, or your emotional energy.
And that connects directly to feeling good about yourself, right? The sense of self-worth.
Absolutely.
The sources mentioned respecting your own time. That phrase, it really lands because we often don't think of it that way.
We don't, but think about it like this. Saying no, it isn't automatically selfish or unhelpful.
Right.
It's actually making a deliberate choice. You're choosing to value your time, your energy, which are finite, just as highly as you value anyone else's.
Okay. Framing it as a choice. I like that.
And it's also really insightful how the sources talk about being tempted to say yes.
That internal pull.
Yeah, that feeling, you want to agree, maybe you feel you should agree, even when your gut is screaming, this isn't a good idea. Haven't we all? Understanding that internal friction, that conflict, that's a really crucial first step. Just acknowledging it.
Okay, so once we get how important boundaries are, the next hurdle is often, well, how do we track if we're actually getting better at this?
Right. How do you measure progress?
Exactly. And this is where our sources offer something really quite clever, I think.
Yeah.
A linguistic way to look at it.
Language again?
Yeah, they highlight the difference. It seems subtle, but it's powerful between using used to and using still.
Yes. This is fascinating. Used to versus still, it's more than just grammar, isn't it?
It feels like it.
It's a powerful tool for narrating your own story, for acknowledging your growth.
How so?
Well, the material points out that saying, I used to say yes to everything, that's like reclaiming your agency, right?
Okay, yeah. You're marking a change.
Exactly. You're literally rewriting your personal history, saying, that was then, this is now. There's power in that.
I see that. And still...
Conversely, recognizing I still say yes too often, well, that's not admitting defeat. No, it's actually an honest assessment. It normalizes the fact that changing habits is, an ongoing effort. It takes work.
Right. It's not always a clean break.
Precisely. And acknowledging that still is crucial for keeping going, for sustained progress. It's language that describes the journey, not just the destination.
That's a really useful way to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the journey, you're using used to, and still maybe. How do you actually say no in the moment without, causing offense or burning bridges?
The practical side, yeah.
Our sources offer some really brilliant, practical phrases, ways to say no politely but effectively.
Yes, these are like your toolkit, really, for navigating those social moments gracefully while still holding your ground.
What are some examples?
Well, there are some great ones. Things like, thanks, but I really need some rest time. Simple, honest.
Okay.
Or, I genuinely appreciate the offer, but I'll have to pass this time. Again, appreciative but clear.
Acknowledging the offer first.
Exactly. Or even, no, not this time, but thank you for thinking of me. And then there's a really potent one.
Oh.
I have to say no so I can say yes to what truly matters to me. That one really reframes it.
Wow, yeah. That connects it back to your own priorities. It's not just negative.
Precisely. And the material really emphasizes why the phrasing matters so much. That soft refusal often feels more respectful, lands better.
And just as importantly, our sources also flag some common mistakes. Things to actively try not to do.
Yes, the pitfalls.
One is saying no, too directly or harshly, just blunt force no.
Right. Tone is huge, especially in many cultures, definitely in English-speaking ones.
It really is.
A blunt no can feel, aggressive, like slamming a door. Whereas a softer no thank you or thanks, but I can't right now.
It's gentler.
It's like gently closing the door. You state your boundary, but you try to preserve the connection.
Okay, and the other mistake mentioned.
This one might be even more common for some people. Apologizing too much.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry, but I just can't.
Exactly. And while a little politeness is good, over-apologizing can actually undermine your message.
How so?
It can signal that you feel guilty or wrong for saying no, for prioritizing yourself. And you shouldn't feel guilty.
Right. It sends a mixed message.
It does. The key, as the material highlights, is finding that balance. Politeness, yes, but also firm assertiveness.
So maybe not apologizing, but offering alternatives.
Alternatives can work sometimes. Things like, maybe another time. It's a gentle deferral, doesn't commit you, but keeps the door open if you want it to be.
Got it. So this skill, saying no effectively, it's not just about personal life, is it? The sources suggest it's much broader.
Oh, absolutely. If we kind of zoom out, look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The ability to say no clearly and respectfully, it's not just a personal preference. It's actually seen as a fundamental part of effective communication.
Okay.
And self-management too, across all sorts of areas.
Like work.
Definitely work, negotiations, managing workload, but also academics, managing your study time, even just, your daily schedule.
Right, protecting your focus.
Exactly. This skill empowers you to protect your focus, your energy. It pushes you really to reflect on what matters and articulate that. It shows that the power of saying no isn't just a nice idea, it's a skill with real-world applications.
Tangible benefits.
Significant personal benefits, yeah.
Wow. Okay, what a deep dive this has been. It's so clear that learning to say no, it's way more than just refusing something.
Much more.
It's a really powerful tool for protecting your time, your energy, your peace of mind, really.
Your most valuable resources.
Absolutely. And really getting the hang of that polite refusal, the subtle art of it, as our sources show.
Yeah.
That's a skill that just keeps giving back, doesn't it, in all parts of life?
It really does.
We genuinely hope you, listening, will reflect on some of these insights.
Yeah, consider this. Mastering the art of the polite. No, it's not like a switch you flip once.
No, it's ongoing.
It's an ongoing practice, but it's an empowering one. It can genuinely reshape your day-to-day life. It lets you say a true, enthusiastic yes to the things that really align with your values, your goals.
Imagine that clarity.
Exactly. Imagine the clarity.
So we invite you to maybe engage with this idea a bit more actively. Could you take a moment, maybe later today, and think about a time you actually said no?
Yeah.
A time you felt genuinely proud or maybe just relieved afterwards.
Yeah, what happened? How did it feel? How did it change things for you?
We always love hearing from you, hearing your experiences. And if this deep dive resonated, maybe think about which specific phrase or which insight you might try to use this week.
Even a small step is progress.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this Deep Dive.